Subscribe to the channel Educate Sada and press the bell icon for the latest videos. Thank you.
Good morning, students. Yesterday's class we have studied the basic differentiation of acid, bases, and salts with respect to litmus paper test, according to its test, pH scale, salts, ionic bonding, and formation of ionic compound, that is sodium chloride. Now, our next topic is dissociation of ionic compound. What do you mean by dissociation? Dissociation means separation of ions. Okay, separation of compound with respect to its ions. So, let us look at this example. I have taken a beaker containing water. Okay, a beaker containing water, and I added sodium chloride. Okay, sodium chloride means a salt, a common salt has been added to this water, and a respective ions, that is sodium ion is Na plus and chlorine ion is Cl minus. So in their respective ions the compound gets separated. This is known as dissociation of ionic compound, because the compound is made from an ions, that is Na plus and Cl minus, and they are having a ionic bonding. That's why when they get separated, the term indicates the dissociation of ionic compound. So here we obtain an aqueous solution of salt. What do you mean by aqueous? A compound which dissolves in maximum amount of water, and the obtained result of that solution is known as aqueous solution. It means a compound NaCl is dissolved in maximum amount of water, so the obtained result solution is aqueous in nature, that is aqueous solution of salt. Now here NaCl, a compound which is present in solid state, when it is dissolved or dissociates, separates in water, it forms a respective ions, that is Na plus in aqueous medium plus chlorine minus in aqueous medium. Okay. Now our chapter's main first topic is starting from here. Arrhenius theory of acids and bases. Look at here. Arrhenius theory of acids and bases. In yesterday's lecture, I have explained you what is Arrhenius theory of acid and bases. Basic constituent of acid is H plus and basic constituents of base is OH minus. So when a substance is dissolved in water, okay, any substance dissolved in water, and the substance gives us H plus ions, then the solution is acid. And if a substance dissolved in water and it gives OH minus ion, they are bases. So here is some examples of acids and bases. For acids, a scientist have taken hydrochloric acid, which is present in gaseous form. Okay, in lab, a bottle containing hydrochloric acid. Okay, the acid is compressed in compressed to dissolved in water, but the vapors are releasing. Okay, that's why HCl is taken in gaseous form, and when it is dissolved in water, it dissociates to its respective ions, that is H plus and Cl minus ion. When in a product, if we get H plus, the all substances are acidic in nature. In product part, if we get H plus ions, the resultant means the present substance is acidic in nature. So here H2SO4 is known as sulfuric acid. Okay, sulfuric acid. While I am teaching, keep your pen and book in your hand, because in such a detailed information you can't able to learn from your textbook. Okay, and it will enable you to understand when you start reading. That's why when I am teaching you, keep pen and paper in your hand. Okay, HCl is known as hydrochloric chloric acid. So this sulfuric acid, when dissolved in water, it gives H plus and HSO4 minus, hydrosulfate. Okay, this hydrosulfate also contains H plus, no? H plus and SO4 minus. So this hydrosulfate has been taken here, and its further dissociation gives us again H plus and SO4 2 minus. Okay, now for bases they have taken sodium hydroxide. Okay, write here name sodium hydroxide. OH is hydroxide. So when this sodium hydroxide dissolves in water, its dissociation gives us Na plus and OH minus. So resultant substance gives us OH minus. That's why the present substance is basic in nature. Are you getting it? This is calcium hydroxide. When calcium hydroxide dissolves in water, it gives us calcium plus 2 molecules of hydroxide ions. So this hydroxide ions indicates that calcium hydroxide is basic in nature. So let us come to our next topic, that is classification of acids and bases. So keep in mind that after this lecture you have to read your textbooks. Okay, when you read your textbook, you will come to know that each and every part has been covering side by side. Okay, but you have to read, otherwise you can't understand that how teacher is teaching. She is not reading textbook, she is not giving from textbook. It is not like that. Each and every topic has been covered from textbook only, but you have to read it. So classification of acids and bases. Acids and bases are classified according to their strength. You know, in last lecture I have told you that I have two beakers in which let me show you. It means you can recollect it. Okay, so I know that I have showed you. I have taken two beakers, one containing acid, another also containing acid, but which is strong and which is weak. So this is the part we are going to see. Okay, so strong acid means what and weak acid means what? Strong acid means it completely dissociates. It means when strong acid is dissolved in water, more number of H plus ions are going to get. Examples of strong acid are hydrochloric acid, hydrobromic acid, nitric acid and sulfuric acid. Okay, you have to keep this in your mind. Okay, in fill-ups they might be ask you like these questions. So in weak acid means more number of H plus ions are not going to dissolve in water. It means incomplete dissociation of that substance. So less number of H plus ions we are going to get it. So examples are acetic acid, CH3COOH. Okay, and this is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide gas when compressed to dissolve. Carbon dioxide gas is compressed to dissolve in water to give us hydrogen ions, but the release of hydrogen ions are very much less. That's why carbon dioxide is included in weak acids. Next we have bases. Similarly as acids, a strong base and weak base are there. The substances or a compound which completely dissolves in water to give more number of OH minus ions are known as strong bases. Examples are sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide and sodium monoxide. Why monoxide? Only single oxygen is present, that's why. So all these are considered under strong base because on dissolving it gives more number of OH minus ion. Now in sodium monoxide the hydrogen atom is absent. So when this compound dissolved in water, the water is H2O, the hydrogen from water is going to combine with this oxygen and more number of OH minus ions are going to release. In weak base incomplete dissociation or less numbers of OH minus ions are going to release. Example is ammonia. In ammonia, no oxygen atom is present. So, when ammonia is dissolved in water, H2O, the oxygen present in water combines or reacts with ammonia to release OH minus ions, but the amount of OH minus ion release is very much less. That's why ammonia is considered under weak basis. But ammonia is thoroughly dissolved in water, but the release of OH minus ions is less. That's why it is weak base. Next, our topic is alkali. Alkali means a basis or a substance which are highly dissolved in water. Example, sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide and ammonia. Okay. So our next topic is concentration of acids and bases. What do you mean by concentration? Concentration means amount of solute present in that solution. So what is solute and what is solvent? Let us see it. I have taken two beakers. The both beaker is containing water. In beaker A, I have 10 ml of water, and in beaker B, I have 20 ml of water. In both beaker, I have poured 1 spoon of lemon juice. Okay, 1 spoon of lemon juice. So, this is the solution of lemon juices. Now, taste these both solutions. Which solution will be more sour in taste? Definitely A, because amount of water is less and the amount of lemon in both the beaker are same. So point to be remembered, in a solution two elements are present, that is solute and another is solvent. Solute is always present in small amount and solvent will present in large amount. So here in the above solution I have taken a lemon juice in small amount. That's why it is considered as solute. And water we have taken in large amount. That's why water has been considered as a solvent. A combination of solute and solvent is known as solution. If in a solution the amount of solute is high compared to solvent, then the solution is concentrated. If the amount of solvent is more compared to solute, then the solution is diluted. Example, to express the concentration of solution, two units are used more frequently. Okay, the two units are used more frequently. One is mass of the solute in gram, which we are going to dissolve in 1 liter of solution, and another is number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 liter of solution. The second one is preferred more because a molarity is easy to measure of any solution. So this molarity is indicated by writing its molecular formula inside a square bracket. Example, we have sodium chloride NaCl equals to 1. It means that molarity of solution of common salt is 1 molar. Okay. Our next topic is pH of solution. In our first lecture, I have told you some basic information about pH. Now we will look it in a detail. pH means power of hydrogen. It means the amount of hydrogen present in that solution. The strength of hydrogen content in that solution is known as power of hydrogen. Example, H plus ions having different dissociation in different solution. Example, H plus ions present in water, H plus ions present in acid HCl, H plus ions present in base NaOH. Okay, the three of them having H as their constituent element. Means for water we can write H2O. Okay, we have H plus. For acid HCl, we have H here also. For base we have NaOH, we have H here also. Okay, so in water H plus ions formed equals to 1 into 10 raised to minus 7 mole per liter. In HCl, H plus ions found 1 into 10 raised to 0 mole per liter. In NaOH, H plus ions form 1 into 10 raised to minus 14. So this raised to term minus 7, 0 and minus 14. The raised to terms is obtained in minus. Why 0 has no sign? Because 0 is a number which is neither negative nor positive. Okay, so minus 7 means we have a pH scale. On that scaling 7 is neutral. On a pH scale we have 14, so this minus 14 is going to be it is giving us a reading of pH scale. Therefore H plus ions varies from 0 to minus 14. So according to pH scale, pure water has pH of 7, that is neutral. This is 7, that is neutral. For acidic solution pH is less than 7, that's why 0. And for basic more than 7, that's why 14. So let us look at this pH scale which varies from 0 to 14 and is drawn in segment. Always pH is drawn by scaling it in a segment. Never draw it in a line by showing on both side arrows, because it is totally wrong. Segment does not varies. Okay, it is fixed from 0 to 14. 0 is strong acid, 14 is strong base and 7 is neutral. Our next topic is universal indicators. So what do you mean by universal indicators? The indicators which are made by mixing synthetic indicator in proper proportions. So what are synthetic indicators? What are natural indicators? Okay, there are two types of indicators we are going to see. A natural indicators consist of mainly turmeric, beetroot, rose petals and many other things. And synthetic indicators are phenolphthalein, methyl orange. Like this we are going to see. Now some natural and synthetic dyes show different colors in acidic and basic solutions. That's why we are going to use an acid base indicators, because various dyes means color and we are having n number of colors which show various colors in acid and bases. That's why universal indicator made by mixing synthetic indicator in proper proportion. But more accurate method to measure pH of solution is by pH meter. A pH meter consists of a meter showing a scaling of hydrogen ions or OH minus ions present in that solution by dipping an electrodes in that solution. So this is about pH and with respect to universal indicators. Further, I am going to give you some homework. Let us see till where we have completed. Okay, acid and bases, ionic compound. In yesterday's topic I have completed this. Next, today we have completed dissociation of ionic compounds. Then next, Arrhenius theory of acids and bases. Then strong acid and weak acids and its bases and alkalis. Next we have completed concentration of acid and bases. Okay, next pH of solution, and last universal indicator. Till here, till page number 64 we have completed. So your homework will be, you have to read till here thoroughly. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me anytime. Okay, then do this experiment in your home and test which solution is more sour. Okay, which one is concentrated and which one is diluted. Concentrated means more strong, diluted means more amount of water presence is known as diluted solution. So this will be your homework. So do revisions. Okay, take care. Bye bye.